Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zicree of Space Command, and we're continuing our Kickstarter campaign. So please click on that below. And if you haven't seen our first episode, click on that below. And if you haven't seen the new pandemic episode that we shot entirely during the pandemic, it's a companion piece to season 1 of Space Command. That's down below. Click on all of that. You'll have lots of entertainment and content, and definitely pledge to our Kickstarter campaign. We've got to clear about $1,000 a day, a little more, and then we can actually continue shooting, continue finishing the episodes, all the things that we're all eager to have happen, but it can't happen without you. So, and if you want to buy Space Command shares, email me at markzicree@gmail.com. But that is not what we're here to talk about. Last week we had a Space Command convention, a day-long convention with Doug Jones, Mira Furlan, Bill Mummy, everyone, involved. You got to, and we premiered Ripple Effect and all sorts of stuff. It was an amazing, amazing time. And so I wanted to continue the convention, and by interviewing more of our cast, by interviewing some of our key crew, and getting them in front of the camera so you could get to know them. And so today we are interviewing Massimiliano Trevis, who is our director of photography. Now, you haven't seen his work on Space Command yet. He's primarily doing Space Command Forgiveness and the episodes after that. But he was an advisor advising our actors how to shoot their own scenes for Ripple Effects. So he's an amazing guy, a very talented man, and I wanted to share a little time with him and me and you. So without any further ado, here's our director of photography, Massimiliano Trevis. Now, how did we first meet? You've been a DP on a number of our projects over the years.
Yes.
Remember how you stumbled into our little zone of influence?
I remember when I moved from Italy through, I don't remember exactly who was the person, but he was talking to me about you guys and the round table.
Ah,
And then that's how we met over there. And then after that, we just stay in touch,
yeah,
like I would say became like family. You guys went to meet my family in
yeah,
Sicily.
great. That was
So I
yeah,
see you guys as family now.
yeah,
So
and we do you as well. I mean, there's just certain people who you meet, they're on your wavelength, and they
right.
you kind of get the person, and it goes
Yeah.
both ways. So you're a terrific DP, of course. Now, how did that come about? Now, walk us through a little bit about how you became the talented fella you are.
So well, I started like in Italy. My family, my mom used to work on a radio station, and my father, he was an attorney, but his passion was acting. So my mom and my father, they met because they were stage actors.
Huh.
So they were acting together. So I grew up basically watching all the rehearsals and and everything. And then he met few people, actors on a sound on a stage, and they started doing things on TV,
Hmm.
like a local TV network. And then he partnered with a couple of his friends, and they opened a TV network. So I was like 6, 7 years
Wow.
old. So yeah, I mean, once they started this TV, I was always been fascinated with the cameras.
Hmm.
Instead of being fascinated in front of the camera or acting like my father or my mom, for some reason I always liked the cameras and the behind
Huh.
camera, world. And then after that, after all of this experience, and I met a bunch of people, and I did pretty good experience in Italy and in Sicily. Then I moved to Rome, and I remember one of my biggest project that I was in my 20s. I was like the fifth
Hmm.
camera on Godfather 3.
Huh. Wow. That's great.
Even though like it was kind of like a lock off camera, but they
Yeah.
put someone there anyway, like
Yeah.
camera. So I was on parallels, up there doing a wide shot of all the cars coming to the Teatro Massimo when the opera started. And
Wow.
to me it was like unbelievable. Obviously I was done within like 3 hours, but I stayed all night and
Wow.
saw all the scenes that they show. And Al Pacino came out and the daughter got shot, and
Wow.
it's unbelievable to me.
Wow.
This is definitely what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do.
Now
So,
was that at Cinecittà or
no,
where?
it was actually in Sicily, in front of the
Wow.
Teatro Massimo. The big,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Wow.
they used. They were shooting in Sicily,
Great.
and that shot when they go to the opera, and then all happen, and then they walk outside with
Wow.
Andy Garcia, and then
Yeah.
there's that guy that
Huh.
makes the donkey noises, and they
Wow.
shoot. They want to shoot him, but then they ended up shooting the daughter
Wow.
that
Wow.
dies.
That's
So they were actually there in Palermo. It was the only kind of job, like the first huge to me
hmm.
biggest job, and I met the DP over there,
Wow.
which was Gordon Willis. And then Gordon
Huh.
Willis, I think at 5 6 years after, he came to run for a commercial,
Huh.
and I was the B camera operator, because he was operating with the DP
Huh.
and the camera on the commercial. I was the B camera, so he was enjoying the commercial. Like, I remember we're shooting at the beach, and he was like,
Huh.
no shoes, and he was like taking his pictures. He had a 35 millimeters cameras and everything. I remember I made a comment, because I was looking through the eyepiece, and I made a comment on there was a light outside the window,
Hmm.
and he wanted over there, but it was kind of like in the frame, so there were the blinds. So I was like, I said, if we angle the blinds a little more, I said, we can block that source of the light. I said, but you can keep it over there. So I was talking to the gaffer, and the gaffer was like, well, you got to talk to Gordon. To Gordon, you can't make this decision. I'm not moving it. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So I went to him, and I asked him to come to the camera and to look through it. And I was telling him about the light and to keep it there with the blinds. And he said, I really liked, I can tell that you have the eye of a DP more than the camera operator.
Hmm.
So he called his friend director, which was Peter, I remember his last name, was an Australian director.
Hmm.
And he called the gaffer, and he said, if you guys really need me, let me know. Otherwise, Massimiliano, I believe he can handle it. And he
Wow.
gave me a spot meter, and he was like taking pictures and enjoy like the commercial, like
Hmm.
just going around. And then at the end of the commercial, he gave it to me as a present.
Huh.
So I
Wow.
still have the Gordon Willis spot
Great.
meter. He
Wow.
gave it to me. That was great.
That's terrific. So basically, we've recognized your talent ever since we met you, that you're a terrific DP, and so
Thank
we
you.
all love to work with you. And the funny thing is that our audience, the Space Command fans, really haven't seen all that you can do, because we haven't released Forgiveness yet, the one that we're really rocking and rolling on, and
Right.
we're ramping up to shoot that as soon as the pandemic lets us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and we keep calling that part of the story the haunted house, because it takes place in the alien spaceship with all the lights
That's
and stuff.
yeah. Looking forward for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, you worked with us on the Bonnie and Clyde short that Elaine directed, and also on Family Crystal, which was the web series
Loved it.
that Elaine
Yes.
did, where I was the pizza delivery boy on that one. So no, no, I mean, I'll do whatever it takes,
Of
and
course, we all do.
yeah, yeah, that's the
We
wonderful.
all do.
Well, that's the part of the job. I mean, it's fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
To
even
me, sets are more like it's a
yeah,
family, place more than job itself. Like, you take
yeah,
for granted everyone knows what they're doing, but you have
yeah,
to create that atmosphere that you're, friends and family.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
to switch hats and this and that.
yeah,
That's the best part to me. It's not just uh,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like have that kind of the attitude. I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
I was never that way, and didn't grow
No,
up this
and you
way.
can't be. I mean, that's one of the things that I hate about Hollywood, is the arrogance, the stupidity that really bleeds
Absolutely.
creativity. And that's why I founded the table in the first place, because it's like
Mhm.
that's so antithetical. I mean, you want everyone to be able to say, "Hey, I've got an idea," or "Hey, here's what,"
Absolutely.
and and if you're the director or whatever, you can say yes or no, but you don't
Right.
stifle people. You don't want to think them to
Right.
feel you're gonna, that's gonna be off with their
Right.
head or anything. Yeah,
Obviously, you take for granted that you're respectful when
yeah,
you're on set. There is no I'm better, or I'm worse, or I'm the last, or I'm the first.
No,
You know,
no.
it's just a modest, humble way to be on set. And then obviously, you know, you're respectful and
Yeah.
professional. You know, those things, I take those things for granted.
Yeah.
You know, but it should be, it's a collaboration of a group, a
Yeah.
team of people, because you have a set of 300 people, you know, or set of 5 or 10, whatever.
Whatever
It's
it is. Yeah.
still a collaboration, you
Yes.
know. That's
Yes.
the way I see it. You know, I grow up in it this way.
Yeah, and you know it's funny because I'm of course the science fiction guy, and Elaine is the character and you know
Right.
oriented person, and we kind of really meet in the middle. But I'm very visual, and I think
Absolutely.
you know, and it's very fun to come up with something wacky like you've got a scene on Mars or a scene on a spaceship or any of this stuff,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it's you're making you know it's all make believe. It's like you're creating an
Yeah.
illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like doing a magic trick, you know,
Yeah.
and
It is.
so is there a kind like what kind of is there a kind of story that you love most or kind
I
of
mean, to
life?
me,
Yeah,
in Italy is different because in US is more. I'm not saying like they label you, but it's more like, oh, people do. They like more drama, or they like more comedies, or they like more sci-fi. In Italy, it's just you, like you have the passion for the movies, and you
yeah.
have the
Uh,
creative way to see things and the visions of, you know, what you're working on, that it
yeah.
goes regardless what you like the most or not. You
Mhm.
know, for us it's more about the people we like more
Yeah.
than the story we tell. I
Huh.
don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. 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 No,
I
I'm the
hear
same.
sometimes, I hear like, oh, you know, have you done drama? And that, I mean, sometimes it's just strange to me to hear, because it was
Yeah.
like, I don't need to if I did drama before to understand a drama story and
Right.
visualize it, you know,
Right.
lighting
Of
wise
course.
or atmosphere or camera. Say, I mean, I shoot movies or whatever
Yeah.
projects, and I watch it, and I feel for it. Like, I watch stories or movies or TV shows, and you know, you feel like laugh or crying on this and that,
Huh.
even though I know how it works, you know,
Yeah.
like how to shoot a movie. Like, I don't watch a movie as the technical,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
person. There's like, I know what's going on. Oh, I see the boom and or I shadow of the. I mean, I see those things, but
Yeah.
when there are those kind of scenes, emotional, that I go along with it. Like, I
Yeah.
cry watching it. So to
Uh,
me, like, that it's just a patch, something you have and you feel for,
yeah.
or you don't, more than the experience of what I like the better or worse, or what I'm good at or not. You know,
Yeah. I
I'm
get
not
it.
sure if it
And
makes sense.
now, did you? I know in the old days in Italy, they used to shoot the movie and then do all the sound, the dialogue in post. Were you?
Later,
Was that before your time, or did you ever
I
shoot
mean,
that?
I've involved on some of those. You
Yeah.
know,
Wow. Yeah.
I've done that, and I've been working also with bigger directors that
Hmm.
they used to do that, or
Yeah.
some that they liked actors' expressions sometimes,
Hmm.
and they didn't care about the lines.
Wow. Wow.
So it's like Fellini was like, "Oh, count 1, 2, 3, 4." You know what I mean? But
Wow.
give me the emotion of it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wow.
I don't care if you don't remember the lines. Just say whatever you feel like to give me the that kind of emotion. Like,
Wow.
you're angry, or you're
Mhm.
hurt, or you're like, use whatever words you want to
Mhm.
help you on those expression and the feeling and the body
Wow.
language, and then I'll figure out later in post. So I've been in those situations, and I
That's
have to say it worked great,
yeah.
because
Wow.
I did a TV show and was Italian, but it was in Serbia,
Uh-huh. Huh.
and the director was Italian, and we used a lot of great, Serbian actors,
Huh.
and the director said, "You guys act in Serbian,
Huh.
because the way you guys say things in your language, your face moves differently than if you have to translate in Italian and say it in Italian."
Uh-huh.
So we had all the scenes, there were Italians and Serbian actors, and the Italian was saying in Italian, the Serbian was saying in Serbian.
Wow. Huh.
Like, you can understand anything when they were acting, but they knew what they were saying and in the scene.
Yeah.
So even the response and the interactions between the two actors, they knew what they
Or,
were saying
yeah.
in their
Yeah.
own language.
Uh,
So they were acting and reacting like it was like they were
yeah.
understanding each other, but they weren't.
That's really interesting. So
Uh,
now another big change that's happened over recent times, of course, is when you started, it was film. It was 16 or 35.
right,
Now, of course, it's all digital. So that's taken, another learning curve. So
for
so
sure.
how have you navigated that?
I mean, to me, I maybe because I always liked and always enjoyed the technology of pretty much everything. So I
Mhm.
always been curious and wanted to know how things work.
Yes.
More than this is this way. So film was this thing and was this way, and then lighting wise or camera operating wise or things like that. It's different, and so I don't some people they're stuck at they learn one thing, they don't want to learn another.
Uh-huh.
So but on the other hand, it's like, oh, digital doesn't look as good as film, but how many things you have seen film, they don't look good either.
Yes.
So to me, it's not about film or digital or the way
Right.
you shoot it. It's just
Right.
the eye that you have when you're looking at things.
Yes.
We all see things differently,
I know. Well,
so
and
that's the way I see it.
Well, also another thing that's really interesting is that when I came up in television, you were composing for a TV screen, and that would maybe be anywhere from maybe to 12 inches to like maybe 24 inches
Right,
or 26 inches or 32 maybe. But
right,
now you can compose all the way from like a big
right,
4K screen to like a little like a phone, and you have
right.
to make sure that the story works and the visuals work in both of
Absolutely.
those different formats. So that's really that was
It
what we
is.
were seeing on the
It
on the.
is. And I mean, I remember I did a few documentaries with a Japanese director,
Mhm.
and I have to say I learned from him, especially one thing that I still remember, which at the time that we were shooting, I mean, it's not like I didn't understand what he was saying, but I was more, like I want things to look good,
Mhm.
so we were shooting a documentary about the way some fishermen were still fishing, which was like by hand with the like
Mhm.
it was fascinating. But and we were shooting 16 millimeters and digital at the time. And then sometimes when we're shooting some things, I was like, well, the sun is behind me, so it's frontal and this and that. So I was just saying things because I want to like backlight or side light.
Mhm.
And then I remember a director at the end of the day, we went to eat, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you something that when you sometimes want to change some things because you think it doesn't look good." And he said, "I understand what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying." He
Mhm.
said, "But I just wanted to let you know that sometimes when you're filming something that is very interesting,
Mhm.
people don't care if
Yeah.
it's quality, if that time there's not enough light, or if it's dark, or if
Yeah.
it's like I can guarantee you, if you're catching that moment that
Mhm.
is interesting,
Yes.
it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yes.
I mean, at first I kind of like, I was like, yeah, sure. No, I don't think it's true. But, but then if you catch that, but if it's, if it's lit well, or if it's in, the light is in the, or the sun is in the right position, or the camera is in the right,
Yeah.
angle, I was like, it's even better. I was like, I understand it is, but sometimes you don't have control over those things because some
Mhm.
things happen in that specific moment that you don't have the right angle, or you don't have
Yeah.
the backlight or side lights. Like, it is what it is. But
Mhm.
just because it makes it real and it's a really good moment, and
Yeah.
you capture that, regardless if it doesn't look as good as you think,
Yes.
people will stare and lock on the screen. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that. And I have to say, it was right.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
It's
again,
true.
I mean, you have to have the emotional truth, and you have to have and the key requirement of any filmed entertainment is to entertain. You
Yeah,
know, and so,
absolutely, exactly.
and so because no one ever goes, "Wow, that movie was really shitty, but the lighting was great." It's like,
Exactly. And, I have to say, how many times you do that, you see that. I see it a lot of times. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks great, but it's, you don't feel anything. It's like
No,
literally not interesting.
that's right.
Like it's lit well, like very nice, but you don't get any emotion. You
No,
know, it's like, what the
yeah,
hell was that? You
that's
know?
right. And even in science fiction, you want to move people. You want them to cue into the
Exactly.
character. You want them to recognize the human story. And
Exactly. So sometimes I have that kind of state of mind that sometimes you're in those kind of situations where what you're filming is more interested what is the ways looking,
yeah,
you have, to me, you should have that eye also to understand that,
hmm
more than I'm not doing this because it's, doesn't look good,
no,
and
no,
you're missing that you will not recreate it,
yes, yeah,
you
and
know that's all I'm saying.
no, it's great, and it's super fun because I mean, one thing that's interesting about science fiction also is that often you'll be shooting something where it's like, okay, this piece will then be added to this piece, and then
Absolutely.
something with a mind toward what it's going to be, rather. And fascinatingly, we've had this new experience, you and I, which is during the pandemic when I came up with this, I mean, even Elaine insisted I put on the script that it based on a crazy notion by Mark Zickery, so it's like, because it's so, because it's so out of
Yeah.
crazy to say, okay, let's have the actors shoot their own scenes with whatever camera they've
Right.
got. It could be a phone, it could be a computer, and so we had you in many cases calling them and looking at
Yeah,
the
because it was hard for them to figure out to do
right,
certain things,
right,
she was
and
great.
that's right. And it was an experiment. And in some cases, we had one actor in Saskatchewan and another in Atlanta, but they were in the scene together. And then we,
Right.
cut it together and
It
then make
is.
master dropping them in with green screen or whatever. Yeah. And it was,
Exactly. And I'm sure it was interesting for them as well,
yeah,
because I believe also for actors, when there's a point like this that they have to figure something because they're shooting their own,
yeah,
close
yeah,
up or their own dialogue. And I had the call with some of them. I was like, well, okay, so let me see the room. Okay, put the camera this way. See,
yeah,
you have a window over there, or you have a this over there. I'm sure even for them, when they now later on, when things will come back
yeah,
to normal and they will go on set, they will understand a lot more
yeah,
about
yeah,
camera positions,
yeah,
because sometimes actors, like, you don't give them a mark or some kind of, like, way for them to look a certain
yeah,
way or have their body, a certain position. Sometimes they do it because you say, but they sometimes they forget to do it because they don't actually understand
yeah,
those things. They just act.
yeah,
This could be also a good way for them to actually put in perspective next time they'll be on set, to really understand those things. I was like, oh, that's
yeah,
what a flag was for. Oh, this is what the position was for.
yeah,
Like, those
yes,
are, to me, like, could be good for them as well to understand.
yeah. Well, for me, it was very exciting because I had to let go of the standard way of doing things. And I had to say, this is an experiment and it
Right,
may fail or it may succeed or maybe somewhere along the spectrum of that. But the
right,
fun part is trying. The fun part is doing it and seeing what emerges and having this really interesting time with all these amazingly talented actors.
right,
I mean, and sometimes the shittiness of the image, like for instance with Barbara Bain, it was a very grainy, kind of
right.
greenish, strange image, but because she was playing this mentally ill person and
It
talking,
worked.
yeah,
I saw it worked.
yes.
It
Yes,
worked.
and the
Like, you
variety.
would, especially because she was so, like, nice and
Yes,
great, that that's
yes,
what I'm saying, is one of those things that I was saying before. Like, if something that you're watching is interesting,
yes.
you don't actually look at the quality of it.
Right, right.
Oh, it's grainy or it's dark. Like, she was great. you know
Yes,
the crying and
yeah,
the screaming with no voice, and
yeah,
sometimes, like, that's what you're watching, regardless if you don't if the quality is not as good. I get it, I understand where, it's a
yes.
computer, and it was an old computer, so that was the camera they had.
But
but
that's fine.
but
That's
her acting, yeah, but her acting was amazing.
yeah. She was
And that's
terrific.
what, to me, that's the interesting part, that you
Yes.
see her.
Well,
you
like you say, it's creating that moment of magic, and the magic.
Exactly. That, there are sometimes there are things out of your control. So somehow you got to make it work.
Yes,
And make it interesting because she made it interesting,
Yes,
you know?
yes. And-
So,
but I love, I mean, if I wanted total control, I'd be a novelist, you know, it's like, you
yes,
know, but you know, it's like, no, I love the collaboration. I love the unknown because
yes,
basically even when you have a script and even when you have a million years of planning, there's still what happens on the day,
right,
you know,
right.
and I love that because you
Right.
know,
There is always that something that you didn't
yeah,
think about, you know,
yeah, yes.
when you are in that moment to say, oh, I didn't think about this. Well, because, you know, things
Right.
happen.
But also good things happen where you get things you didn't know would happen, and then you have to be
Absolutely.
present on the set to okay, let's abandon everything we had planned because this
Right.
is better, and let's
Right.
go for this right now. And you have to be super present in that way. But it's a collaboration. I love having
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's the collaboration with you and with the entire crew and all the actors. They're all Elaine and I both view that you guys as our partners. Not you know,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
because of that, it's like we're gonna embark on this journey into the unknown and see
Yeah.
what happens. You
I
know.
agree. To me, those are the things that you will remember, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
me, you know, sometimes like the experience that you make is just, you know, it's just something that you can buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there are projects that you get paid more, projects you get paid less, but the experience of it, there's no numbers, you
Yes.
know, like it's something that those are the things that you will remember, you
Yeah.
know, to me.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. So anything else you'd like to add about working on Space Command or working with
Well, I just, as to be honest, I really hope that these things start finishing, kind of like coming
yeah.
back to normal. And you know, it's those are like interesting things, and the experiments, and you know, do all of this, and the collaboration that you
Hmm.
have your people and your family, that even though you're personally not there, you're there,
Hmm.
you know. Those are one of those things that obviously, like I say, is one of those memories that you remember.
Hmm.
But also it's nice to be together, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
when you're working on something, that
Yes.
physical, you know, presence, that you're there and you work together. And you know, so yeah, I look forward for that. But I liked it that even though we're at home,
Hmm.
we're still here,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
yeah.
and there.
We're making
See,
stuff.
this is one of the technology things that I say. To me, it's always nice to know things,
Yes.
because, you know, we wouldn't be here talking
No.
on the computer.
I know. It's amazing. And thank
You
God for it
know?
because if not for the computer technology, if not for the internet, we'd be so isolated during this pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Things
I
would have
mean,
been a lot worse,
yeah, so
for
it's
sure.
great. It's great. So, well, I really appreciate taking this time to talk, Mossy, and I'm
Absolutely.
glad that we can show everyone your face. And and
Hey,
like yeah,
and
go ahead.
thank you. It was a great idea. Oh, by the way, I got that email that you sent about that. It was you mentioned something about the Emmys, and
Yes, yeah,
that's
we're
great.
in the nomination round.
I really hope so. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
that's fun.
You guys deserve it regardless. You know, you've been in this business for a long time, and you
Yeah,
really love it. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be
yeah.
doing it.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, I think there's a, as you said, yeah. I mean, there's a commonality of heart where we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it for the love of it, and you know, yeah. And that's always been that way.
sometimes it's nice to have that recognition that people
Yeah,
see them more than the money they made or the money they spent. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a money decision. Like, sometimes it's just, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's I know I love what we're doing and I'm super glad that you're
Absolutely.
aboard and it's gonna be fun when we can get onto that alien spaceship and rock and
Oh
roll.
yeah, definitely looking forward. I've seen
Mm,
this little things here and there, practical, with the production
yeah,
designer and visual effects. I was like, oh, you know, we were talking like, do this way, the window on this side or the other side. So, and he was sending pictures. Yeah, I very look
fun.
forward for it.
That'll be soon. So well
Yeah,
stay safe, stay well, and you know, we'll be talking
thank
again
you.
really soon. And yeah, and if anyone out there is planning to do a movie in the near future, I recommend this guy highly. He's terrific and
Thank you.
and it's great
Thank
fun.
you.
Well, we'll talk
Always.
again real soon, Mossy. So thanks so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Thanks.
you. Always.
Okay. Well, you take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.